All right, I think the range here is very, very nice. Now we just have this one bay, so we'll be running drills for the next couple days here, but it's nice. We should be able to do a lot of different stuff. The plan over the next 2 days, we'll go through practical shooting from the ground up, slow. So, shooting accurately, grip, vision, those sort of foundational skills. We'll do a lot of shooting this morning, single target on a firing line, this type of setup, just working on those fundamental skills. Then as things go on, we'll expand into more and more complicated drills, multiple targets, then movement, that kind of thing. By the time we get done tomorrow, you guys should have a pretty good understanding of what it is you need to do and what the training looks like as far as both live fire and dry fire. Now, you're not going to get a lot better in the next couple days, I don't think. Why not? What's that?
It doesn't work that way.
It does not work. No, it really doesn't work that way. And I recognize a few of you. I think this is like the third class that Leo's done. Is this the third one? Jeez, dude. Something to do. Yeah, it doesn't work. You're not going to get better in a couple days. The reason is you can consciously focus on one thing at a time that you're doing, and you're showing up here. You've already shot and you've already trained to some level, to some degree. You've done some training. So the way it works is when you're shooting, you're just going to do what you've already trained to do. You can consciously change one thing at a time, I think. Change your hand tension, try to play with what your eyes are doing, do something with your stance, whatever. You can consciously control one thing, but as soon as you're not thinking about that one thing, it's just going to revert to what you showed up doing. All right, so that's part of the plan. We just that's the way life works. What I'd like to do in that case is just spend an hour or two on different skills. We'll shoot the drills really aggressively so you can get a good look at what you're doing, and then you can get an idea for how to change your training or how to change things as you move forward. Does that make sense to everybody? To that end, the feedback comes in two forms. Either I'll look at what you're doing and be like, we got to make some correction here. Say you're shooting and you're driving the gun down, pushing the rounds low left. I want you to change what you're doing. I won't tell you to slow down. I want you to actually change technique. If you're shooting really well, then what do you think I'm going to tell you to do?
Go faster.
Go faster, right? So if you're uncomfortable, you're not quite getting the right result, we'll work on it. And if you're shooting well, everything's in the middle, go faster until things start to break down and we work from there. I'd like to keep your frustration level at a simmer for 2 days. I don't want you to boil over and you explode. It might be funny, but if you're throwing your gun into the woods or something, that's not good. But I don't want it to be easy either. I want it to be a struggle. That makes sense to everybody? Okay, well, come on over here. I'll show you the first exercise we're gonna do. Mr. Lauren will move out of the way. He will. There he is, he's out of the way. All right, well, we're gonna start with the simplest thing, just working on our grip and vision. Okay, so most people, when they're holding a pistol, it's going to look something like this, right? This, maybe this, maybe this, yeah?
Yep.
All right, you got to shout them out when you know them, guys. I do good when the audience is engaged. All right, yeah, I don't think the position of your hands is all that interesting to talk about. What we want to pay a lot of attention to is the pressure. All right, now my objective by holding the gun is I want to stay connected to it. I want my hands to be in the same position on the gun and the gun the same relative to my hands the whole time. Meaning the gun's not sliding around. You know what I mean? It's not sliding around inside of my grip. The relationship between hand and gun doesn't change. How hard do I need to hold to make that happen? Sure, how hard is that?
Not too hard.
Yeah, I would say obviously the bigger the gun, the heavier the gun, and the lighter the gun recoils, or the lighter the caliber is, or you can get a comp on it. That's good too. The lighter the gun recoils, the less hard you have to hold it. But in any case, even a gun that you have to clamp on really hard, an adult male, you do not need to be 100% grip pressure clamped onto the gun. It's going to be substantially less than that. A good way to figure that out, I think, is you take these 3 fingers, clamp them down 100%. 100% as hard as I can hold the gun. No pressure on my thumb here, just my fingers. Now I'm going to relax my fingers enough for my middle finger to come up off the gun and then put my middle finger back down on the gun. That's a pretty good idea of the amount of pressure you need on the gun. All right, now the reason is I want to clamp my hand, of course, and stay connected. My pointer finger, my middle finger, however the ligaments work, these two are more connected than the pinky and ring finger. You know what I mean? So like probably there's going to be a little more pressure on those fingers, the middle finger a little bit more relaxed. The idea is we want the trigger finger to be able to move quickly and independently. All right? So again, like what's hard for people to wrap their heads around is like you don't hold as hard as you can, especially with your dominant hand. Just hold on to the gun so it doesn't move. Anything more than that's not helping. Now with our support hand, we want to actually connect to the frame of the pistol. Like I'm trying to grab here. Does this make sense? Like I'm not trying to hold my fingers or anything. I'm trying to hold the gun, like connect to the frame of the gun. Does that make sense? And I'm clamped onto my fingers, but I want to make consistent connection and pressure here. Okay, so hold the gun. So like, and again, these pressures are unchanging, hopefully. As far as visually, the pasters tell the story of what we want. Focus on a small spot on the target. If there isn't a spot like that, try to grab like a paster or like if it's a button or something on a photorealistic target. If it's a blank target, I imagine there's a black thing in the middle of it that I'm looking for, right? So we look to a small spot, focus on that spot intently, and that's what target focus really means. It's just very, very hard to do. What do most people focus on while they're shooting? Sights. Most people are focused on what the sight is doing. We want to change that, so I'm looking where I want the sight to go, and I trust and believe the sight's going to come to where I'm looking. Does that make sense? So like, we're going to do a lot of exercises with this, but like it's important to understand the basics. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is kind of weird. It's a little bit of a strange exercise, but it gives you a good idea of what we're trying to accomplish. Yeah. All right, what I'm going to do, we'll start guns. Eyes and ears on, guys. All right, so for this exercise, I'm going to start safety off, staring at that black spot. At the tone, I shoot that shot, and the gun should come back down to where I'm looking. What we're trying to get out of this is how much pressure do I need to have on the gun, and then I stare at the spot, and the sight should come right back to where I'm looking. If you could come on the side where you can see the muzzle of the gun, I want to do this a few different ways for you. Watch the muzzle. Okay, so you saw it. You saw the muzzle do a few different things. What did you see? Anybody?
Rise and fall.
Right, so when I started off, did it look like the gun moved? No. Like that's the challenge with this gun. It's got a comp on it. It's not that light either. So I'm trying to not put input into the gun. What returns the gun back to this spot is me focusing on the spot with the intense desire to have the gun go there. I'm not focused on muscles or anything or trying to fight with the gun to get it to do something. I'm just like spot, boom, the gun goes off and it comes right back to where I'm looking. Okay. It's fine. Don't worry about it. All right, so you get what I'm saying so far? It's like your desire to return the gun, like that's what matters. Okay? You saw the gun dip down low. What do you think was going on there? Yeah, so I put it in my head. It's like, all right, stop that gun from rising. And I'm like pushing down on the gun into the recoil. Now here's a question for you. Like, I have a group forming here because I'm looking at the aiming reference, and then we have a little mechanical offset, right? Should I see my dot slash down here when the gun's recoiling? No. Like, you got to recognize if the sight's down here, like you did that, you put input or you pushed on the gun to make it go down there. Instead, the solution is stare at where you want the gun to go. It will go there. The same as if you're driving a car, you look where you want it to go. You don't stare at the hood of the car, and you're not really conscious of turning the wheel. Does that make sense? You don't worry about that stuff. You just look where you want to go. The last thing, you saw a couple where the gun rose up and it was slow to come back down. What do you think was happening there? Yeah, I'm staring at the sights. So I'm like staring at red, boom. Oh, the red's up here now? Okay. put red down here. It's just focused on the wrong thing, and you could see all of that on the gun. So what I'd like is we have good, like the first example I gave, like stare at the spot, beep, boom, and the gun comes right back to where I'm looking. That's what we want. Make sense? Okay, let's get, everybody grab a target if you would.